It only takes one slip of the tongue to unravel carefully constructed illusions. And this time it was Meghan Markle's own mother, Doria Ragland, who pulled the thread. In a moment that caught everyone off guard, Doria's words hinted at a truth long whispered, but never confirmed that Harry may not be the biological father of Lilibet. The revelation did not come through tabloids or royal insiders, but directly from the woman closest to Meghan, leaving Harry shaken and the public stunned. For years, Meghan has tried to control every narrative around her children, presenting them as the undeniable symbol of her union with Harry. But if Doria's words are to be taken at face value, the story Meghan has so fiercely defended collapses into something far darker: calculated manipulation and deceit. Harry's panic is understandable. His entire life since stepping away from the royal family has been built around the image of protecting his wife and children from scrutiny. He has gone to war with the press, alienated his family, and sacrificed his reputation, all in the name of defending Meghan's chosen truth. But if even his children's paternity comes into question, then everything he has fought for becomes meaningless. The very foundation of their truth begins to crumble, and the one person who should have stood firmly beside him, Meghan, now appears as the architect of betrayal. What makes this revelation even more damning is how carefully Meghan has shielded Lilibet and Archie from public access. Unlike other royal children who were introduced openly to the world, Meghan fought tooth and nail to keep images scarce, details blurred, and questions unanswered. She insisted it was for privacy, but in reality it now looks like a calculated strategy to hide uncomfortable facts. With Doria's accidental admission, the secrecy doesn't look protective anymore, it looks incriminating. Meghan wasn't safeguarding her children. She was safeguarding herself. This is why Meghan's critics call her manipulative, because every move seems staged, every word rehearsed, every relationship transactional. She knows the power of imagery and the danger of exposure. For someone who built her fame on playing the victim, Meghan has consistently acted more like a puppeteer, pulling strings from behind the curtain while presenting a spotless facade. But when the mask slips, even for a second, the truth is brutal. If Harry is not Lilibet's father, then Meghan has deceived not just him, but the world. And yet, Harry continues to stand beside her, visibly rattled but loyal to the end. That loyalty now looks less like love and more like desperation. He has burned too many bridges to turn back. He has alienated his brother, the very family he once vowed to defend, and in doing so, he has chained himself to Meghan's version of reality. To question her now would not just expose the truth about Lilibet, it would expose his own blindness, his own failure to protect himself from manipulation. Harry's panic is not only about a father's fear of losing his child, but also about a man realizing he may have lost himself. The irony is sharp. Meghan built her public image on the promise of authenticity, railing against the cold institution of the royal family for their supposed dishonesty. She painted herself as a beacon of truth against a sea of lies. And yet, if the truth now revealed is accurate, she has become everything she once accused others of being. The duplicity is staggering. Meghan didn't just lie to Harry, she weaponized him, used his vulnerability, and allowed him to destroy himself in defense of a falsehood. Doria's role cannot be understated here. As Meghan's closest confidant, she has been in the shadows, rarely speaking publicly. But this slip exposes more than she likely intended. It reveals complicity. Whether by silence or active support, Doria has stood by while her daughter spun narratives for personal gain. For Harry, that must feel like betrayal squared. Not only from his wife, but from the very family he believed was supporting them. The moment Doria spoke, she shattered the carefully constructed wall Meghan had built, and the sound of that collapse echoes louder than Meghan's polished PR ever could. In the end, the damage is irreversible. Once a question like paternity enters the public domain, it cannot be erased. No amount of interviews, staged photos, or lawsuits can put the genie back in the bottle. Meghan can insist all she wants, but the seed of doubt has been planted, and Harry will carry that weight for the rest of his life. The image of the happy family, carefully crafted to shield Meghan's ambitions, is now scarred by suspicion. For Meghan, this is a public relations disaster. For Harry, It is a personal hell. The truth, as Doria's words have revealed, is not only uncomfortable but devastating. Meghan has always thrived on controlling the narrative, but in this case, the narrative slipped out of her hands, and the world saw what lay beneath. For years, critics have accused her of manipulation, deceit, and cold calculation. Now, those accusations ring louder than ever, validated not by tabloids, but by her own mother's voice. And that is precisely why this revelation cuts so deep. When the accusations come from the press, Meghan can dismiss them as bias, racism, or character assassination. When they come from estranged relatives, she can brush them off as jealousy. But when the implication of deceit comes from her own mother, there is no convenient scapegoat, no easy way out. It's an internal crack in the very foundation Meghan has built her empire upon. The silence from Meghan in the aftermath only adds to the suspicion. Her usual quickness to control the narrative, to rush into interviews and stage-managed appearances, has been replaced by an uncharacteristic hesitation. The world sees it, and so does Harry. That hesitation is damning, because silence, in this case, speaks louder than denial. It suggests a calculation, a pause to measure the damage and decide how best to spin what has already been exposed. But the problem for Meghan is that this is not a headline she can erase. This is not a rumor she can bury. It is a truth whispered by the one person who should have had no reason to lie. And now, for Harry, the panic will never fade because deep down, he may already know the truth.